What's up, you guys? Welcome to Critique the Critics, the show where we read critic reviews and audience reviews and then give them a taste of their own medicine by throwing it back in their face like pudding in a food fight or other food in a food fight. Yeah.
Right.
My name is Tech.
I'm Kojak.
And today we're going to take a look at the movie The Joker, or it's just Joker, isn't it?
It's Joker.
It makes me uncomfortable not saying the for some reason.
Which is weird because it sounds weird to say the Batman.
Right. Yeah. it makes sense. But like that one sounds more like a name. Joker sounds like I don't know. I don't know why. It just feels right to say the Joker. But we're going to look at audience reviews. We're going to look at some totally not true fake facts that sound like they're true, but we assure you they are not true.
As far as we're aware.
Yeah. And then first, we're going to take a look at a professional critics review of this movie.
With professional English.
Yeah, with professional English. And we're going to rip it apart and generally make fun of it.
Yeah.
Because they deserve it.
So I picked the reviews this time.
Yeah.
And the first one we found was from the Memphis Flyer.
Memphis Flyer.
The renowned Memphis Flyer.
Never heard of it. Chris McCoy, let's see what you have to say.
I don't remember, which was what I was trying to go for.
Is that the title of? Oh, that's he has a headline title of his thing. That's a long title. Joaquin Phoenix stares too long into the abyss in Joker by Chris McCoy.
Took a little cue from Harley Quinn.
Took a little cue from every kid's book report. Hollywood legend has it that during the heyday of the studio system, there was a sign over the water fountain in the Warner Brothers writers building that read, can't even talk, what does the bad guy want? Okay.
Just to be loved.
Murder? Maybe?
We'll go with love.
Writing for the hero is easy, or at least it used to be. Superman stands up for truth, justice, the American way. Wonder Woman watches over the weak and innocent. Batman protects Gotham City from evil weirdos in costumes. It's not... I mean, I guess it's kind of easy to write for a hero. It's not, though. Heroes are always less interesting.
Yeah.
That's why Batman's great, because he's a hero who has villain qualities, so he's interesting.
Right. But it's like Iron Man. I know it's not DC, but Iron Man's interesting.
But he has villain qualities.
Yeah.
He's a pompous piece of crap.
Fair. Well, that was the whole point of writing him to begin with.
Right.
So, yeah, okay.
That's what I mean. It's like they don't all have to be Deadpool, but it's only really interesting if
everybody needs to be
everybody
Deadpool.
Should be Deadpool, but yeah, they only become interesting when you have villain qualities involved.
Yeah. I'm surprised Deadpool doesn't have a Clearasil sponsorship.
Yeah. Or proactive.
It's
like, damn you, Kelly Clarkson. Give some of that proactive money to Deadpool.
He needs it.
Writing for villains is harder. The worst kinds of villains are the ones who are simply there to serve as a punching bag for the hero. They may look menacing and throw the occasional one-liner, but their goals are nonsensical and their psychology non-existent. I immediately disagree with the premise of this entire review. And that's frustrating. Because villains, like I said, villains are the most interesting, but they're also the most relatable.
I don't know the meat of this review. I just read a little bit, skimmed, and read the last line, kind of thing, like just how I used to do it on our show on YouTube.
But that's the thing, is that it's really easy for you to relate to a villain, because it's hard to relate to someone who's always good and always doing the right thing.
Right.
Because we're human.
Unless you're 8.
I guess, yeah. You're exactly right. There's no I guess. If you're a little kid and you haven't been
the I guess came from 8.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, if you're a little kid and you're not all jaded and messed up yet, because life hasn't kicked you in the tail.
I heard Jaden and messed up yet.
Not Jaden. Yes, when Jaden Smith was 8, he loved Superman,
and now.
He loves Gemini Man? I don't freaking know. Dad?
His Twitter.
Yeah, he loves his Twitter.
He loves his Twitter.
But that's the thing that makes the most sense, though. Once you start having problems, realizing that everything isn't super happy and cookie cutter, realizing that sometimes you don't have time to go out and help your fellow man because you got to pay taxes and shit.
I'm just picturing an 8-year-old trying to figure out how to pay taxes after hearing mommy and daddy fight for the first time.
Yeah.
It's time to go on my own.
No, I don't like Superman anymore, you bastards.
With his Elmo tie and his...
Elmo tie?
I'm painting a picture.
Yeah, you are. Let's see what's next in this nonsense. Hopefully it clears it up for us.
Oh, sure.
He won't. Our recent comic book film obsession has brought a parade of idiotic villains. There is no worse offender than Thanos, the big bad guy from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He spent upwards of 10 movies trying to assemble a magical artifact that would allow him to bend reality to his will in order to stop what he saw as an out-of-control population explosion. Never mind that the universe is a brain-blastingly big place, chock full of resources easily available to a civilization that drives spaceships like they were bird scooters. What? Bird scooters is...
It's a weird brand to choose.
Yeah, it's I don't understand.
Because if you immediately don't remember, oh yeah, the scooters, but like bird scooters. You're picturing birds.
You're picturing birds on scooters.
You're picturing an 8-year-old in an Elmo tie on a flying scooter.
But yeah,
now you are.
But also, I wouldn't. I don't understand what the analogy is. Like, are you saying that they pay by the minute? For their spaceships or whatever.
What kind? Yeah.
Or that like they grab the spaceships at the side of the road.
America.
Or they use them so that they don't drive drunk. Like, I don't understand.
I have no clue.
Yeah. If you could create and destroy like a god, why not snap your fingers and make enough food for everyone?
We already had that. Jesus.
Also, food wasn't the only problem with overpopulation.
Right.
There's things like space. Mm-hmm. And I understand that you're saying that there's readily available resources, but how do you know that? We don't know that. In that universe, there's aliens and people colonizing and living on whatever they live on, and we don't know that there's enough.
Fair.
There's a very good chance that there isn't enough.
And it's a fictional universe. They can say there isn't enough.
Yeah.
We haven't even found another hospitable planet in reality.
And if they already don't have enough room to live, where are they putting all this fucking food you're talking about? There's no room for us. Here's more stuff.
In a storeroom in Cuba.
Exactly. Oh, man. What's funny, too, is that, like, that's kind of how we are. We're like, there's too many people. There's not enough space. And then it's like, I need 6 cars. It's like, no, you don't. That's why there's no fucking space. I had a joke when I lived in upstate New York that there was at all times one more car than parking spots. At all times. So you're just driving around waiting for like, you're the only person who needs a parking spot. Everybody else is going somewhere. And you're like, at some point, someone's going to have to go somewhere. And then I'm going to get that spot.
And then wait. Come back
and then someone's going to be waiting for me. Yeah. Now
the power.
Yeah, right? Fix it, Thanos.
I could snap and not leave.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have snapped more parking spaces.
Yeah, we need that.
Which brings us to Joker. The clown prince of crime's motivations have historically been pretty thin, falling squarely in the provide a punching bag for the hero category throughout much of the character's 80-year history. You do not know the Joker's history at all.
Yeah. He killed Robin.
There's also a lot more than
3 times, right?
There's also a lot more than
I don't even remember.
There's so much depth to the characters in the Bat. Not all of them. Obviously, Condiment Man doesn't have a lot of depth.
That's right. That's DC.
Yeah, but in the Batman universe, there's a lot of people who have a lot of depth. Like, they're not one note. Catwoman isn't one note. Penguin isn't one note. Like, there's other stuff going on. So you clearly have no idea what's going on with this character if you think that they're just put there to be punched. And also, that character wouldn't have lasted. Joker would not have lasted. Joker would have gone the way of Condiment Man if he didn't have depth.
It's because DC ran out of hot dogs.
Yeah, decent. Yeah, exactly. So let's see. Frankly, this wasn't much of a problem in the classic comics, but now with Warner Brothers' entire billion-dollar film operation resting on making Batman v Superman, Our Moms Are Named Martha, as gritty and realistic as possible, the Joker needs a Lawrence of Arabia level character study. Sure. I guess. I
like that you didn't laugh at Batman v Superman, Our Moms Are Named Martha. Just because it's like, yeah, we know.
It's like,
yeah,
well,
that was clearly a thing that everybody was like, huh.
Well, also, you don't laugh at that because Batman v Superman came out, what, 2016 or something like that? It's a while ago.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been like 4 or 5 years at this point. Like, you're rehashing a 4-year-old joke just because you can, I guess. So
it added words.
Yeah. So kudos to you. I don't know. It's one thing to joke about that in passing, but you wrote it. Like, you wrote it down. You're like, for all to see.
Yeah.
Also, the idea that like they were resting everything on Batman v Superman is not really true. They were hoping that would be successful, but they had plans for Justice League. They had plans for Wonder Woman. They had plans for lots of things. And Wonder Woman was a success. So, like, one of them worked, and then this one worked. I don't really understand your point. I think you just wanted to make a Martha joke.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It was the third tequila.
Where did the Joker come from? What's up with the clown shtick? Is his mom named Martha? Oh my God, I hate you so much. All these questions are more are answered definitively by director Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, and it only takes 2 ponderous hours. Okay.
You just asked for a Lawrence of Arabia character study.
Yeah.
And then say 2 ponderous hours.
Yeah, right. That's short. That's short for a Lawrence of Arabia.
I've seen the VHS cassette collection of Lawrence of Arabia.
It's pretty long.
It fits in the back of a U-Haul.
Yeah.
That's
I use it to prop up my bed. We'll put it that way.
Right. And then climb
onto the bed. I made bunk beds with it. So much more room for activities.
Right.
Spoiler alert, his mom is named Penny Fleck. Damn it.
No.
Her son, Arthur Phoenix, takes care of her in a kitsch-filled apartment in 1981 Gotham that bears a startling resemblance to the decayed New York of Taxi Driver. So, New York?
Right?
That's what New York looked like at the time.
Well, he is from Tennessee. This is the Memphis Flyer.
Yeah, that is true. It's just comparing the way New York was to the way New York was at the time is really pointless and stupid. I'm from New York. There was a point where someone cleaned up New York. Times Square used to be like a shithole.
It's because they had to get rid of all those cars that no one was driving.
Right. But like Times Square was a shithole. There was like tons and tons of like awful in Times Square. Yeah. And that was during the 80s when I was a kid. Like, this isn't new. This is it. You literally just said it took place in 1981 Gotham, which is supposed to look like New York. And Gotham has always been basically New York.
Right. Except when we ended up having like those weird statues.
Yeah. In that classic, writer Paul Schrader, director Martin Scorsese, and actor Robert De Niro asked, what turns an ordinary man into a political assassin? He wants to impress Jodie Foster. Turned out to be a startlingly accurate motivation. Okay, so this is the part where we completely leave the movie we're talking about.
We already did. We talked about Thanos for an entire
paragraph. Yeah, but now we're gone, though. Like, we were in, like, the comic book world. Now we're just gone.
Yeah.
Now we're, like, out of here.
Right.
It's like, there's leaving. Like, it's like he walked toward the door and then turned for a second and then was like, nope, and then just left.
No.
De Niro is here. And of course he's bringing it up because De Niro's in the movie, obviously. De Niro is here seemingly to add gravitas to the movie that asks, why does a guy dress like a clown to get his ass kicked by a guy who dresses like a bat? He plays Murray Franklin, a talk show host who delivers his monologue in front of a Johnny Carson-like rainbow curtain and who inadvertently gives the Joker his name while mocking Arthur's attempts at stand-up comedy in front of millions of viewers. Needless to say, this does wonders for our anti-hero's mental stability. Okay? Obviously, obviously we needed the basic plot. Otherwise, we can't understand the review. We get it. To be fair, Arthur has apparently been a punching bag all his life. In the movie's crushingly depressing first hour, he is beaten up twice by the roving gangs of thugs who apparently make up the population of Gotham, at least the ones who are not obscenely rich and named Wayne. Phoenix is an incredible party on, Wayne. Phoenix is an incredibly gifted actor, and his performance here is scarily committed. But the most realistic performance in Joker is by Brett Cullen, who portrays Thomas Wayne, doomed father of the eventual Batman, as a condescending jerk. That's the most realistic performance in the movie. I hate when that happens. When there's always like some minimal thing.
Right.
That a critic picks and it's like, but the thing we should be paying attention to is that guy in the background who's eating combos. And it's like, no,
that's all when they sit down to watch a movie, they just look for that one thing they think they're the only people that are going to call out something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like you see that deli shop worker on the Bronx?
Yeah.
He didn't have any lines, but he delivered his sandwich well.
Yeah, that's
the real.
That's the real actor.
Yeah.
You know who's the real hero here? That guy. Most memorable parts of the movie emerge from its lead's bottomless pool of talent. Everything he's saying that's a compliment sounds sarcastic, right?
Right. What are we at, Red Robin?
Yeah.
Can I have the bottomless pool of talent, please?
But it all sounds sarcastic.
It does. It's like I agree, but I don't think you do.
Yeah. It's like you look great tonight, honey. Great. Like, should I change? No.
You just caused 3 divorces saying it that way.
Yeah, don't talk to your wife that way. Phoenix has covered this territory before as the mentally scarred veteran who falls for Philip Seymour Hoffman's proto-Scientology cult in The Master. But without someone of Hoffman's caliber to play off of, Phoenix is left to spin his wheels. I mean, at one point he's playing off of Robert De Niro. What do you mean? Like, did you miss that part?
Right.
Also, way to shit on Zazie Beetz. Like, nice of you.
Good jerp.
Yeah, good job. It's a tremendous expenditure of energy that goes nowhere. Joker feels completely unnecessary, which we love. That's our favorite word that critics use. This is not necessary.
And what's the other one? They talk about I forget what it is. A sugar substitute. Saccharin.
Oh, saccharin.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sure he'll say saccharin at some
It'll
point.
happen. Yeah.
We've seen 2 on-screen origin stories of the Joker. The first was in Tim Burton's 1989 Batman, and it took about 5 minutes to set up Jack Nicholson's Joker as an ambitious gangster driven to megalomaniacal, that's what it is, insanity. After being dipped in toxic chemicals. The second, and more chilling, was Heath Ledger's conflicting recounting of multiple origin stories in Dark Knight, which really tells you everything about the character you need to know. He's a nihilist and he's nuts. There is more to that.
Yeah, and there's also no actual origin story.
Yeah. But and also it makes sense in Tim Burton's Batman to have his origin story be in the way that it was. Because he was doing more of a campy, dark comic. Mm-hmm. And it made sense. Like you didn't need like the real serious, intense backstory. You needed a basic gist of why he's that way.
You needed blacklight painted rollerblade villains.
Wrong movie, man. Wrong movie, motherfucker. All right. Not to spoil the party, but
I knew that was going to be a good.
It's not even the right movie.
I know.
You son of a bitch.
That was a shiny red flashing button.
Yeah.
It was like.
It's such a terrible movie. Not to spoil the party, but that's where we're at when we finish Joker 2. It just takes 2 grinding Batman-less hours to get there. What's bullshit is that, like, Batman's story is rich kid parents die.
Yeah.
Becomes Batman.
He's also 8.
Unless you do more to it. So you could say it's easier to write heroes, and you could say that they have more depth or whatever you're saying here, but they only do if you write them.
Yeah. Well, and of course there's no Batman.
Yeah.
In this thing. It's literally you get to see that whole scene.
Yeah.
And then you get to watch Bruce Wayne put on his elbow tie and be an adult.
Yeah.
And fly bird scooters.
Right. I mean, you could have Bat Child, I guess. Bat Child. Ridiculous.
So dumb.
Joker is by far the most depressing comic book movie ever made. Yeah, you're probably right. It's either that
or Watchmen
or Logan. Would be
Logan.
probably the top 3. I don't know. History of Violence is a comic book movie.
Right.
Ghost World is a comic book movie.
Isn't American History X a comic book movie?
I don't know if that one is.
I think it might be.
But I mean,
I don't know.
American Splendor is depressing. That's a comic book movie. I think you mean like superhero movie, but then you can't say that because there's no fucking superhero in this. So,
all right, there you go.
So there you go, I guess. On the one hand, it's kind of amazing that all you had to do to gross $234 million was slap a brand name on a bland remake of The King of Comedy. I get that. I get that it's very similar to an old movie. Everyone brought that up. It's whether it's homage or referential or whatever. But let's be honest, every movie's been doing that. And every movie kind of does that. And that's why we kind of revere the people who at some point don't do that.
Right. Fair.
We're like, oh, cool. Someone did something weird and different for once. Otherwise, it's just like, this is eerily similar to Casablanca. Like, it happens all the time. Also, people had to research to find the King of Comedy because most people don't know what the fuck that is. It's really old.
Yeah.
And, you know,
all right.
People don't really watch it. I don't know what to tell you. Like, also, I feel like to say that's all you had to do, I feel like there's a little bit more involved in making this film. But on the other hand, Joker is just downright unpleasant to sit through. But it's not intended to be nice.
Right.
It's intended to be emotional and awkward and intense and thought-provoking.
Right.
But I mean, considering your writing, thought-provoking is not necessarily your strong suit. But I guess we'll reconvene here in a few years for the inevitable grim, dark Poison Ivy movie. Oh, come on. I would totally watch that.
And?
Actually, I kind of want to see that. Oh, that's with him wanting to see it. Yeah. Yeah, I would watch that.
Yeah.
Because the thing is if they have a very simplistic background or backstory or whatever,
right?
You give it to a writer, and then they write something interesting.
Go on.
All of a sudden, you have an interesting story. I know. Sorry. Now's the part of the show where we read a bunch of completely and utterly true facts. Also, I'm lying. It's time for fake facts.
This version of the Joker is based on a famous clown from the 20s called Jokels. Jokels was best known for dancing, juggling axes, and shaming women for not wanting to have sex with him.
During one of the bus scenes where Joker has a laughing fit, you can see in one of the seats a man crying. That man is Zack Snyder.
The song Smile, which was used in the film's trailer, was originally composed by none other than Charlie Chaplin, one of the most beloved and well-known DC Comics characters of all time.
I love his work. This has been Fake Facts. And now it's the part of the show where we get to read audience reviews from Rotten Tomatoes because that's way fun.
Yes.
So we're going to go through these and just laugh at them. I haven't seen any, and you grabbed them this time.
I did.
I'm fresh and new, like a newborn baby bat kid.
Do you want with his Elmo tie?
With his Elmo tie. I guess I'll give it the start.
Sure.
They shouldn't have used a comic book character to depict. I know. They shouldn't have used a comic book character to depict the storyline. This is too real, and it could represent the idea that you can start killing people because you've been bullied. Columbine High, anyone? What?
They already did that movie. It's called Elephant.
Yeah, also, like, they shouldn't have used a comic book character to depict a comic book character. Who do you want to use? It's like, I mean, that's crazy.
Barney the dinosaur.
I'm tired of all this comic book washing that's going on.
Comic book watching.
Yeah,
You don't do that to comic books. It makes them less valuable.
All this superhero washing. Seriously, do you know that originally in the movie Joy, the girl was supposed to be played by Wonder Woman?
Oh.
Luckily,
Wow.
they changed their mind.
And got Celine Dion?
What? No.
I don't know. It's just as ridiculous as this.
Yeah, fair enough.
I will read the next one. Movie had no action, very little comedy.
I mean, very little punctuation.
I know. I accidentally started reading it caveman-like.
Yeah,
I
right?
didn't even mean to.
It's like Frankenstein reviews.
Movie had no action, very little comedy.
And Firebrand.
I went and watched a movie called The Joker. Not funny. Not funny at all.
It is pretty hilarious to think of people going to that thinking it's going to be funny. Because it does make sense based on the title.
Well, I went and watched Punch Drunk Love and everybody left.
Yeah, because it was Adam Sandler and everyone thinks it's going to be funny.
Best movie he ever did, as far as I'm concerned.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I just think
apparently Uncut Gems is like fucking great.
Yeah. It's like a Christian accidentally going to a glory hole thinking it's going to be like praise and worship. You know what I mean?
Please make that into something somewhere. Whoever is listening, please just put that in your script.
Dangerously put together, glorifying the revenge acts and vengeance in a way that should not be condoned. Utter rubbish and should not be shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should not be shown. Don't show this.
Thanks, Michael M.
It's fun. Dangerously put together.
Yeah.
People almost died during the editing process, actually.
Well, it's because the editing room was the saw set.
Yes, exactly. They're editing. They had a certain amount of time. They're editing while the walls are closing in. They're like, we got to get this shit done fast. We got to get it done fast. I don't think it's condoning revenge acts or vengeance. It's giving you a chance to think about how we treat people and mental illness. That's very different than being like, it's great when you kill people for no reason. Yay!
Yay! All right, next one. This movie was terrible. If you want to sit through 2 hours plus of depression, this movie is for you.
Man,
that's a glowing recommendation as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure. Also, this is a person who doesn't understand mental illness at all, because if you have depression, you're sitting through 24 hours of depression every goddamn day.
Wave that like a proud flag.
Yeah, so when you go and see a movie that's about mental illness and you get to actually like...
Hey, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, you get to be like, I'm not alone for a second. That's pretty good.
That's also dark.
It's a little dark,
but it's not. But it's true.
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's in the same way that like when you know... all of the Barbies that came out that like include all of the different shapes and sizes and colors of women, right? That means that little girl can go, oh, one that looks like me.
Right.
Well, if like I have anxiety, you have depression. If we go to something like this, we go, I deal with, I'm not killing people on a fucking TV show, but I deal with things like
Let's be fair, we're both on a teeter-totter of both of those.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I just teeter more than totter, and you totter more than teeter.
Skeeter.
It sucked. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, thinking it's about to get good. Nope. Lots of depressing moments in the Joker's life. Really disappointed. Think of how the Joker feels.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
Also,
he's also the type of person that just goes on Twitter and rants. Is like, depression isn't a thing. Just get better.
Get better. Also, it kept you on the edge of your seat for what? Like, what were you waiting for in this movie?
And it kept him on the edge of it's right there. We have proof.
Yeah.
He said he was on the edge of his seat.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you were expecting. Like, what was the thing you're waiting for? What's the payoff of this movie? What, like, that you were expecting? I would love to talk to you, Charles, because I want to know.
He was waiting for the X-Men to show up.
I guess. Sorry, Catwoman didn't show up in a bodysuit to like get your rocks. I don't know what you were wanting. Batman to swing by and be like, you know, eat your cereal, kids. I don't know.
Just swinging by and just going, hey,
yeah,
Martha.
Martha.
All right. Very dark, morally bankrupt. Phoenix does a fine job of portraying middle-aged, demented mama's boy that takes out his frustration by killing everyone that makes fun of him.
I mean, I guess
that's a grilled cheese takeaway of this movie.
Right. Right. It's like, yeah, I like that, the grilled cheese. Because I was going to make a food analogy as well. Because it's like you go to the greatest steakhouse in New York or something.
Right.
Right. And they're like, how's your steak? And you're like, good. I mean, it's cooked meat. You know? I mean, you grilled up some meat and handed it to me. And they're like, that's a $300 steak.
Yeah.
You're like, yep.
And now we've had text lessons with how to get kicked out of a steakhouse.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't say, it's grilled meat. What do you want from me? What do you expect?
What do you want?
I've been eating this grilled meat on the edge of my seat this whole time, waiting for something to happen.
And I shit later.
And all that happened is I'm full. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's just like beer.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys for watching or listening, depending on where you are. We do this podcast/vodcast twice a week. Oh my God, it's crazy. Every Monday and Saturday, you can see one wherever podcasts are. So, and also on YouTube, if you want to look at our faces, or if you're like, do that if you're like not driving or something, please. We don't want anyone
the technology's not there yet.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to hurt themselves, please.
We're basically just not in VR right now. That's the only place we're not.
Exactly.
But we could be.
We'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe, like, comment, talk in the comments about things. You can even suggest movies for us to talk about that you might want to see. And until we see you guys next time, geek out and game on.
Bye.